What up, everyone? K Ruggs here, the Soberdog with Jen Cutting, special guest. Yeah! We're going to talk about fentanyl today. Big topic, of course, going on everywhere. That video with the cop overdosing went huge viral. There's some controversy about it. I'm not necessarily going to get into that too much, but whether it's true or not, fentanyl is still everywhere. People are dying. 2020 was the worst year ever for overdoses. Who knows what 2021 is going to be? It doesn't look like it's getting better. So we're here to talk about fentanyl. Jen, what's going on? How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Doing good.
So, I'm going to show everybody. So this is Sugar. This is the new addition to my household. This is actually my daughter's kitten. Here, so you guys can see her. She's super cute. She's very sad because my daughter is away this week, so she will be you will see her climbing around on us.
Purring right away when you walk in the door. Awesome.
She's a little purr for sure. She's super cute. She's just about maybe 2.5 months old, actually.
She's great.
I have some goodies to show you guys. And as Kyle was saying, there's a lot of controversy going around fentanyl right now because of misinformation on both sides of it regarding fentanyl. I personally work with fentanyl very often because I test people's stuff for them. I don't want you to get in trouble with the YouTube people, so I'll be mindful of how I say things.
The YouTube people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Obviously, if you are in a situation where you are inhaling mass quantities of a substance, there's a potential for an issue with it. But just touching it bare-skinned on a daily basis, it's not going to happen. Otherwise, I would continuously be in a bad situation, and I'm not.
I know they said that was a big deal because they didn't want other EMTs and cops and people to think, oh, I can't Narcan this person if they have fentanyl on their skin or their shirt. So that's a huge point.
So that's fear mongering. What that video, in my opinion, and I am a huge harm reductionist. I support harm reduction all the way. I'm a syringe peer, I'm a CARC, I'm a SERPA, I'm a rape crisis counselor, I'm a Narcan trainer. I mean, I have tons of credentials and acronyms behind my name, and this is what I do for a living. I deal with fentanyl, sadly, sometimes on a daily basis, sometimes on a weekly basis, sometimes on a monthly basis, unfortunate. I even collect used harm reduction items, will say, that people use to do what they do that has fentanyl in them.
Yeah.
And I've never overdosed on fentanyl. I've never come in contact with fentanyl where I've become ill or sick. I have tested powder fentanyl, all of it. So people do these things because right now fentanyl is everywhere, and it's so scary because we are so uneducated about it that it's literally kicking our ass, right? So when we do these fear-mongering videos, we just hope for the best and we just throw a dart in the dark and say, it's bad, don't touch it, look what happened to a cop, oh no, oh my God, da-da-da-da-da. Mind you, we don't know the particulars of the details because we were not there, and there's always 3 sides to the story, his, hers, and the truth. And when we do things like this, people take notice because it was a sheriff, it was a law enforcement person, and we think they always know and they always know best. But that's not always the case, unfortunately. Law enforcement are still human beings, and they still project their opinions and their thoughts onto items. And it's not always necessarily the truth in the matter. Yep. So I'm going to give you guys a little education on fentanyl test strips today. So this is the box that fentanyl test strips come in. This is what they look like. They have like a lot number, an expiration, and they just come in this box, and they come 100 per box. I am fortunate enough that the agency that my program works with, we buy 5 boxes at a time. That was not always the case. This is the first time that we've been able to do that. I've been struggling really bad over the last year to get fentanyl test strips because I know how important they are, but they're just so pricey. So they used to be $100 a box, but with the pandemic and just life in general, they've gone up, and now they are $150 a box for 100 pieces, plus shipping and handling. So they roughly come to, I think it's like $165 or $167 a box shipped. and it's only 100 pieces, and you have to test every time you use, because you never know. Like you could have the same bundle or the same batch, and who knows when your dude got a new bag and mixed it in, and now you have part of your old batch, part of your new batch, or it's a new batch, you know, and you think that bundle's all the same, but 2 bags out of it were from the old batch and 2 from the new, and then you have a hot shot and you don't even know it.
Or they were saying too, sorry to cut you off, if there's an exact term, I can't remember it, but it's basically like when you're baking too, if you don't mix everything, one little piece of everything can be all fentanyl,
correct,
and then the rest is the dope or whatever.
Or you can have someone who's breaking up, like
Hotspot, I think it was.
Yeah, they're breaking up something like on the same plate, same tray, same table. Don't wipe it down. Add a new batch, and then you have, you know, a crystal, a crumb, a bump, or whatever that gets in, and that could be fatal. So you have to test, even if it's from the same batch. You have to test every time. So this is what they look like. Okay, so that's the front. And then this is the back. I don't know if you guys can see. So if you see right over here, this is positive. 1 line is positive and 2 lines are negative. I don't know if this is focusing, so please forgive me if it's not. But I'll take
a picture.
Yeah, this is such an important piece for everybody to remember, and I don't know why they did this like this. So when you have 1 line, that's positive. 2 lines is negative. Every other thing that you test in the world, it's the complete opposite. So they kind of...
2 is negative.
Yeah, for everything else. But with this, it's 1. So please, please, please be mindful of that.
Yeah.
So obviously, you tear open the package. This part gets disposed of. There's like a little silica pack thing in there, like stay fresh type thingy. I threw it out because I have children and cats, and I was afraid one of the 2 would get that. So that's why I don't have that. This is what it looks like, the actual test strip. I know it's hard for it to focus. I'm sorry. Let me see if I can help y'all out. But I'll give Kyle some pictures so we can, you know, post those up too. So what you do is, if you have, say you're testing your opiates, you will take the bag that you have, take all your product out, like make your shot or whatever it is you're going to be using. And then you will take what's left in the bag. I give out little vials of water. You'll put 5 drops into that bag, smush it all around. You will take your strip and you will stick it in and you'll wiggle it around and you'll sing happy birthday. Okay? Once you're done with happy birthday, you take it out and you lay it on a flat surface and don't touch it. And you let the water absorb up the strip like you would pregnancy tests, urinalysis, you know, the typical whatever. And then after 5 minutes, then you look and you see. So when I give out my supplies, like my go bags for my program Supplies for Life, I also give water bottles. Now, normally the water bottles that I get, of course, because I need this for this demonstration, it has a small label. But normally it will have the label that's roughly about this big. You know how the regular labels are, they're wider. This is roughly, it's an approximate, half a cup of water. If you're gonna be testing your methamphetamines, you need a half a cup of water in order to be able to test it, because meth is water soluble. So what you would do is, if you can, if you can't, it's no big deal, this still works. I always have everybody cut the top of their water bottle off. A lot of people cut that off anyway because it's easier access to dip things in. So you cut the top off, right? And then you would take your baggie, your meth residue, and you would put that into here, right? Smoosh it around. And then you take your test strip and you dip it in the same way you would with any other substance, and you sing happy birthday. Put it down, wait 5 minutes. So the reason why meth needs so much more water is because meth is water soluble, which means it dissipates in water but doesn't immerse into the water particles, if that makes any sense.
Oh, okay.
So like cocaine, heroin, they're oil soluble. So if you put them in water, they dissipate, they go away. The water makes them evaporate, not evaporate, evaporate's the wrong word.
Mixes in and you lose it.
Correct.
Yeah.
With meth, it's only temporary. So like when we were in active use, I would always carry a big McDonald's cup full of water, because if we were to get busted, I would just slice everything open, pour it in there, smush it around, and then
you could use it later.
I could cook the water out, or we can even smoke that water, to bong water wise. So Yeah, meth is a whole different beast, a whole different animal. So that's another main reason why I give out bottles of water, obviously to hydrate, but also to properly be able to help people be alive.
Yeah, clean. I mean, there's been times where I've pulled over, water out of a puddle.
Oh,
because,
absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
or I'm running in Walmart and I'm filling up some old dirty cup with fountain water, but it's mixed with Pepsi or this.
I've even had people come to me and tell me like, dude, I used water out of the toilet. I'm like, believe it or not, it's cleaner than most things.
Yeah, that's a fact.
No judgment here whatsoever. I get it.
And some people might be thinking too, because I get, it unfortunately it's not that much common knowledge. Testing meth for fentanyl, like that might sound weird a little bit, but no, we're seeing this in everything. Cocaine, meth, weed, K2, I mean, you name a drug, they're finding fentanyl mixed in with it. Or the worst I've seen too, because to me this is, I don't know what the word is, but when they're mixing it with the pills in the pill presses, so you think you're buying benzos or Oxy or Percocet, and it looks just like you'd get from a pharmacy or a company. And then people are like, okay, I take 4 of these and that's what I'm used to. But the dealers mixed it and pressed it and made it look just like a regular Percocet pill, and half of it could be fentanyl.
Yeah,
and
it's scary.
Like, yeah.
It's super scary, actually. And it happens so frequently. And I feel, unfortunately, like our younger population, our high schoolers and whatnot, they're the ones that are experimenting more now with pills because it's safer, supposedly, and they're getting the shitty pills. And it's super scary. Yeah. I have a child who, oh God, talk about putting the fear of God in you. I mean, that's really a real concern. It's super scary. You think it's safe to experiment like children do, adolescents, and it's not. It's killing our babies.
And then it's hard too. I don't have kids, so I'm trying to broach this very carefully because I'm by no means know what you guys deal with. But as somebody in recovery, talking to your kid, it could sometimes come across like, yes, I've been there, I know it all, but maybe they think too, like, in the back of their minds, well, you tried this, so why can't I, so to speak? Yeah. And that's where that real good communication comes into play. Yeah,
absolutely. So my daughter was around during part of my active addiction, the latter part of it. And she knows that we use drugs, and she knows we went to prison because of it. And she knows a lot more than her little 9-year-old self should know, unfortunately. So we have conversations that are look very, very different than a child who, didn't have active parents, I should say, or have parents that were incarcerated and things like that. So she knows what drugs are. She might not know the intimate details of them, but she's aware of what drugs are. And she also knows, like, Narcan. She knows what her mommy does now. She doesn't know the particulars. At first she thought, one time she saw me putting supply packages together for parents, and she thought I sold baby supplies. And I was like, no. So I thought that was a good time and a very safe way to explain what my program was. Now she knows it's, all these things. And she said to me, actually probably just like 2 weeks ago, we were talking about Narcan and how she had overheard someone telling me that so-and-so had overdosed. And she very proudly said, well, you should be like my mommy and have Narcan to save people's lives.
Good for her. That's incredible.
So it made me cry.
Yeah, I'm sure. Wow.
But yeah, it was amazing to hear her say that and know what it meant, but it was also sad that she knew what the connection was.
Yep.
So
there was my buddy sent me an article a couple years ago. He lives in Boston area. There was a school where it was like 1 out of every 6 kids' parents were, in active addiction with, I guess this town got hit really hard by Oxy. And it was so sad because it was like 7 to 13-year-olds who were sitting there. They had to have a special assembly to teach them about Narcan if you find mommy or daddy this way. And it's like these poor kids are going through that. But hey, I'm not a parent, so I don't know. But I guess I'd rather have them know and understand it a little bit than just have no idea.
Right. So this is the thing. I actually just did a podcast about this topic last week, my best friend and I. And there is no age limit on what age someone can be to be Narcan trained. I personally won't train anyone under the age of 12. And if I'm going to train someone who's 12, we have a very open conversation before we even whip the Narcan out.
Yeah.
And I ask them, you know, obviously it will be a social worker or someone bringing this child to me that feels like, or an auntie or an uncle that feels that this is a necessity in their life. And I will always say to them,
Sad.
it is. It's fucking heartbreaking.
Yep.
Like I have to like literally shut my emotions off and literally just put like my trainer hat on, because if I start to look at this kid, it's shit.
Yeah.
But like, you know, and I say to them, like, why do you think you're here? What do you think this is? What do you think this is? What do you think, what are drugs to you? What are alcohol to you?
Yeah.
And then depending on their answers, I surmise myself whether their mental capacity is able to handle this type of situation. And if they are,
a good idea.
then I will proceed with the training. But if they're not, I say, I'm not comfortable with this. Please contact a medical professional who can potentially therapeutically walk them through this type of scenario, because
Well, and if they're not at the setting with you, I'm sure if it really happens, they may not be the best person to apply it to. If they, you know, and that nor the sad reality is, nor should a 12-year-old have to be the one responsible in that case. But like you said, it's around. It happens.
And I've trained. I think the youngest person that I trained was 14, and she was very grown for her age, and she had already seen a lot, and her mom was in active addiction. Her dad was incarcerated. It was just heartbreaking. Like, I'm not even going to say after that meeting, I didn't go in my car and cry for a second, because I did, because I just felt the weight of the world on that little girl's shoulders. And it was just, it sucks, you know, and that's part of, that's the part of our disease as human beings. And especially as parents, we do not realize that generationally, this is a perpetual disease. Whether it's that our children or significant others' children or cousins, aunts, uncles, whoever, even if they don't physically become addicts themselves, that emotional weight just generationally passes down continuously. And it's fucking heavy.
Yes, it is. Everyone is affected somehow. Everyone. And Jen is awesome, because you guys, last time I was here, you see some of the videos I put up. She's got a whole room of harm reduction stuff. You talk about somebody who's doing it every day, out there giving people rides, working at different centers. If somebody calls at 2 a.m, Jen's gone with a harm reduction kit. Drive to rehab, working with this group and that. So it's incredible. Go ahead.
I just remember what it was like. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I remember what it was like. I remember being out there and struggling as a female for feminine hygiene products, or, you know, seeing my kid go without because I couldn't put my disease on the back burner. And just, I don't know, maybe if there were peers and harm reduction peers and whatnot back when I was in the thick of it, maybe my bottom wouldn't have been so crazy.
Yeah.
You know?
That's so important, that the peer training and all that, that they're doing more. I just got my CARC too about a week ago. So, yeah, good to go.
You're perfect for it.
Yeah,
like, oh my God,
Thank
you
you.
are perfect for it.
I appreciate that.
That's so exciting.
We'll
I didn't
see
know
what I get to put
that.
into effect with. Yep.
That's
Finish
amazing.
the training. Can people buy these if they want to buy it themselves?
So yeah, they can. They can go. So if you can see this, it's called dancesafe.org. You can go directly there and you can buy it.
I'll put a link in the description too.
Yeah, I gave you one of these to take with you, so
Yep.
you have it. I'm not sure if they sell them smaller than a box, to be quite honest. But if y'all really need some, please, if you go to my YouTube channel, my P.O. box and all my information, like my email and everything, how you can contact me, is listed. Please reach out and I'll throw 5 to 8 of them in an envelope and just mail them off to you. Like, please don't die. Like, there are people out there that love you. There are people out there that get it, that understand, that will not judge you, and that will stand there and hold your hand onto this pathway, whatever that may look like to you. And I am one of those people, and I'm pretty sure Kyle is as well. Just get in touch with us. And if you need Narcan, if you need test strips, if you need links to places to go, Kyle and I are obviously both in New York. So if you need places in New York, you know, for detox, rehab, the peer movement, any of that, just reach out. I am a little slow on the messages these days. I'm a little overwhelmed, but I will do my best to get in touch with you. And if you send it to Kyle and he reaches out,
Yep.
I try and be as quick as possible answering Kyle back. So just know you're not alone. Like, I mean, all our lives have been a dumpster fire at times.
Yep. You are not. There's somebody out there who's been through the exact same thing, so to speak, and will sit and talk without judging.
Absolutely.
Or somebody who's been through something similar that they're an ear, an open ear. And either way, whether you need these or not, also go check out Jen's channel just to go over there and see all the freaking awesome videos and content. It's incredible. But reach out with any questions. Comment below with any questions too, and we'll answer them. I'll reach out to Jen, get some videos, get some answers. And hopefully you don't need to use them, but if you do, that's where you find them. And please be safe when you're doing this stuff. If you're still in it, I understand telling people to stop. No one could have told me until I was ready, but doing it safe, taking a couple extra minutes is the difference between saving your life, the person next to you, anybody around.
Yes.
So
absolutely. And today, September 1st, it's National Recovery Month.
Yes. Perfect video to start that off.
Yep.
Beautiful. Well, everyone, Jen and I are out. Thank you. Make sure you check out her channel. See ya.
Bye.